So I'm going to get a little interactive up here. I don't want anybody to fall asleep on me, but I'm going to ask all of you to close your eyes. And I know it's cold outside, so this won't be too hard. Everybody knows what a winter is like. Now I want you to imagine that dead sprint out of your house to your car. And I want you to take away the car. And I want you to take away the house behind you. I want you to take away everything else that you can think of, everywhere else you would run to go to if that happened. Your parents' house, your best friend. I want all of that gone. Now I want you to stand there and think about where you would go next. And you can open your eyes. I don't want anybody to fall asleep. But this is, like he said, a reality for about 20,000 people in Detroit. And that's a counted number. We have over like 64,000 abandoned houses and about 36,000 people on the streets, estimated. So it's nearly like a house or a whole building per person that could be living there. And when you get that, you get a situation like this. This is the first woman I ever gave a coat to. Her name is Michelle. And she said she was not technically homeless because she lived in the house behind her. And the worst part about this is somebody was charging her rent to live there. Now this house does not have windows, and it does not have doors, nor does it have running water and heat. This is an extreme example, mind you, but this woman, and like many others in Detroit, are paying to live somewhere they can't actually live in, or survive in for that matter, and putting their disability check into it. And I had no idea about any of this when I started this whole project, because I need to tell you, this all started off as a class project. And when I started this, it was a huge thing for design school. It was like designed to fill a need, huge product class. None of us knew anything what to do because we were used to designing sexy toasters and shiny, pretty things. So the first day, I had no idea where to start. And I started off going to what is known on the streets as hell, I didn't know this, is a shelter in the worst part of Detroit. And I show up there with my bag of design research tools in a giant trash bag at 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. I was naive and very stupid, showed up with this bag, got pushed out into a crowd of 30 people sitting in chairs. The television gets clicked off by a guy who has his arm in a splint from breaking up a fight earlier that day. And he says, "Good luck, you're gonna need it." And all you could hear for 10 minutes was people swearing at me, saying, "If you want to help us, turn our fucking television back on." And I am standing there clutching my design sticky notes and disposable cameras and Post-its with my Sharpies, like, "Oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have my questions." And I realized in that moment this was not going to help me. And then nothing that I had learned in school about design research and actually interacting with humans was going to help me. And I'm standing there pretending like a sticky note's going to protect me from 30 people upset that I turned off Cheers. And I stood there and I said, "I need your help. I have no idea what I'm doing. I am broke and living with my grandparents, and I need your help doing this project. I'm in no better situation than anybody else here." So that's where the whole cart started. From that moment, I designed with them. This is in the back room with the 10 first people that came back with me. Now they're looking at coat prototype number 1. Took 80 hours to make because I didn't know how to sew with my mother over spring break, worst experience of my life. And it weighed about 20 pounds. It was made from 5 recycled wool coats, very fashionable, dirty, smelly, 20 trash bags, and billboard fabric. The first woman couldn't actually fit it on her. It weighed too much, and it didn't work at all. I brought it back, and they said it looked like a body bag. So epic failure right off the bat. The next 2, I spent designing with them, coming back over and over again. So every time it really wasn't exactly my failure, it was looked at as like the group of what we could do better. Because all of a sudden, these people that told me basically, just go away, we don't care about what you're doing, were like actually really excited about this. And by the end of it, they're going, "Well, when are we going to get our coats?" And I'm looking at them, "Never. I'm a college student. You don't want anything of mine to become real. Come on." And it was pretty amazing that all of a sudden this group of people were there designing it with me. And so I thought, well, I have to take it to the next level. Now you can see our beautiful building that this second place. We were in a closet to start off with. It's like, well, how am I going to take this to the next step? Because I am an art student, I know nothing about business, I know nothing about finances, so I basically talked to every single person I could, and they listed out many different ways in which I was going to fail. So I was just like, hold on, I'm just going to take notes. And those notes became my to-do list. And I went back to NSO with, well, what do I do next? And they came, at me. One woman actually started screaming at me as I was leaving. And I went up to her and I said, hi, nice to meet you. And she's like, well, your coats don't matter at all. So your coats don't matter, jobs matter. And she was completely right. What I was designing was a Band-Aid. I was designing not for the real problem, but what thought I could tackle with design. And it was really interesting because that woman that one day changed everything. From me taking my importance of thinking about the coat to me understanding that I need to hire these women. I need to hire the homeless that I wanted to help in the first place. And I need to train them to do this. And it took it from being in a closet to 6 women working in what now is this space. 6 women from shelters, all previously homeless, all with kids, working full-time and producing now what is this coat, 1 every hour and a half from having no sewing time, none. They're way better than me. I was a horrible seamstress. And they can produce one of these having known no sewing skills 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 1 month ago. And they can produce this every hour and a half. And the biggest change for them was somebody actually sitting there and not ignoring them, not saying you're worthless, but sitting and saying, well, I believe you can do this, and I'm going to give you this clean slate. Because across the board, all these women, their hardest point was actually saying they didn't believe that they had worth. They thought they were a throwaway. They'd been through so many jobs that said, once you fail, you're done, and we're throwing you out. And I, on the other hand, had so many opportunities to fail and did so repeatedly through college. And I thought, why not return that favor? Because so that's what I'm going to challenge all of you to do, is go out, fail epically, fail hard, take notes. And of course, you can always try on my failure out there in the reception after I'm done. So thank you.